Well, one of the things that we're sad about is that we don't have Tova with us regularly. Love Tova. I hope you're watching on the Zoom, Tova. We don't get to see her every day. So but we have the privilege today of learning with her son, who said that he's teaching the Chvod his mother. Hello, Tova. Say hello. Hi, Tova.
She's on.
Of course she's on. She's on.
Shalom Aleichem. Here. Oh wow. Here in Israel, wherever we are. So obviously these days are Seret in the Tshuva. These are the 10 days of Tshuva topic. Tshuva is an extremely deep topic. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, we'll jump in. We're going to learn today. This is a ma'amar from the Sefer Nahal Shalom from the Rashash. Rashash was the great Mekubalim, and thank you. This was the ma'amar they used to say before Tkiyat Shofar in their Beit Knesset, and we'll learn a little bit and get a little bit of Tshuva. B'ezrat Hashem will give us a higher perspective, and deeper perspective. We go further in this important mitzvah of Tshuva. So obviously the time is when he's giving the speech is right before Tkiyat Shofar in the Beit Knesset, Rosh Hashanah, and he's speaking about the importance of Tshuva, and we'll jump in a minute. Lachen ata et ratzon. He says right now is et ratzon. We know in Shamayim there are many times. The time in this world is parallel to all kinds of events that are happening in the heavens. We know Shlomo Melech in Kohelet teaches us about 28 times. Is 28 times. And there's something called Et Ratzon. David HaMelech davens to Hashem, Ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. Saying my tefillah to you, I wanted to go into Et Ratzon. There's times that are Et Ratzon, times of revelation of the Ratzon of Hashem. Chazak v'nitchazek. Let's get strong. La'achniya libenu v'lashuv b'tshuva Hashem. Let's connect and do tshuva. Ki sha'arei tshuva hayom הם ptuchim. The gates of tshuva are open. כי אותנו, אנחנו מבקשים כיום הזה, כי עיקר השופר תלוי בתשובה. The entire kavanot of the shofar, even though the shofar has many kavanot of Chassidut and Kabbalah, but the inside you of the entire listening to the voice, hearing the voice of the shofar, we'll see what is the shofar, what is the flow of life, hearing the flow of life coming from Hashem into the creation, being in tune with that chaim, that there's a flow of life coming in. That's talui in tshuva. It's talui in this avodah of tshuva. Mosh katuv hazar. So we know that tshuva and Chassidut and Kabbalah is discussed also as towards this hashuv hey, right? Returning of the hey. I'm sure it was discussed. We learned. So what is this hey about? In the name of Hashem, the name of Hashem itself is something very so special that we have. If you meet someone and you give them your name as an invitation to the relationship. You want a relationship, you're going to call my name, I'm going to answer you, we're going to have a relationship through my name. There's so much mystery about God. So much. Anyone that's a thinker would understand that God is just a mystery of all mysteries. That's not what Am Yisrael has, that we know that God is a mystery. That everyone knows. What we have is we know is that God is revealed, that God gave his name. Torah, Kula, Shmotav Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah, according to Kabbalah, is not just instructions. The Torah has a deeper essence. It's a name. A name means an invitation to a deep relationship. So the name of Hashem is Yud Kei Vav Kei. It has two He's in it, the Yud, and this infinite amount of Torah to speak about what is this name and how is this name revealing the essence of the Creator. But in a very, very simple way, these four letters symbolizes four worlds or four basic ways of revelation of how he reveals his name. And this name is made out of male and female aspects. The Yud is a male and the He is a female. And then the Vav is a male and the He is a female. And this male-female relationship that exists within his name is the way of how life could come forth from the Yud to the He and to the Vav and to the He, and Or and Sof goes on and on forever and ever. So Tashuv He, returning the He, you could look at returning as the last He, which you could look, the last He symbolizes the Malchut, the kingship. You guys are Tamidot Chachamot, you learn about this stuff, many inyanim. Returning the kingship to Hashem, what a deep concept. But there's another avodah of the He, the second, the Bina. And we'll look a little bit today and see what is this, what does it mean, returning to this Bina? How does the second He, what does it mean? The Az, when we do Tshuva, Tashuv He, Shehi Bina. Over here, the Rashas is talking about which He we're talking about, which He we're returning. Tashuv He, the Bina, the second He in Hashem's name. Leitpashet Amochin Batiferet. There's a deep concept in Kabbalah. Tiferet, it's called Zeir Anpin, the Vav of Hashem's name. Chet HaEgel, Am Yisrael's sin in the Midbar, horrible sin of Chet HaEgel, the golden calf. Moshe Rabbeinu comes out from Shamayim, burns the calf, kills the people that sin, and reveals Para Aduma. Para Aduma, it says, Tavo en v'tekaneh tza'ad bena. The mother comes and cleans up the mess of the baby. The baby makes a mess, you call the mother to clean up. In this world, whereas it stems from the spiritual world, that the baby means there's an underdeveloped reality, a child reality, that can make a mess, cannot listen. And then there's a higher reality, a mother reality, that's responsible, that no matter what, she's going to fix, she's going to heal. That's Tshuva. That means that the flow of life, the essence of life itself, that's symbolized in Hashem's name, that flows from Or and Sof into the world called Yud, and then into the world called He, and from there into the world called Vav, and from there into the world called He. It's the river of life, it's the flow of life itself. When the letter Vav is immature, is not behaving right, then the flow of life is stopped by the mother. It can't flow on into the creation is not ready to receive the Or and Sof. There's no revelation of Yud Kei Vav Kei because it stops in the Vav. Yud Kei is always a name of Hashem. Yud Kei is always a name of Hashem. Vav Kei is not a name of Hashem. Only when it's connected to Yud Kei. Vav Kei alone is not a name. Vav is a chibur, it's a connection. Ve. It's the ability to be connected to something, but it's not yet connected. Hashem creates Zeir Anpin. Hashem creates high worlds in Olam HaTzilut, but how are we supposed to know what these high worlds are? The answer is they're not high at all. It's all in us, in our life, in the most simple way we are, is revealed all these high secrets. So when the reality of Vav, of Zeir Anpin, of Am Yisrael, is Shema Yisrael, when we're listening, when we're in tune, when we're connected, then the Shefa, Or and Sof goes from Or and Sof into Keter, into Chokhmah, into Bina, it flows. Why would anything stop the goodness of Hashem? Who could stop the goodness of Hashem? So we're talking about Bina, Bastashuv, hey, Shehi Bina Litpashet HaMukhin B'Tiferet. That means that Hashem made the world, that this reality called Tiferet or Zir Anpin or the Vav is created as Vav as 6. Why 6 out of 10? Why are you 6? Because you're immature. You're not 0, you're not 10, you're 6. You have 10 spheres. A baby has a head, he has eyes, everything. Don't just add a head to him one day, he gets Chachma B'Id Das. Where do you put the Chabad on? Where does it go? Everything that's very small just develops. Everything was there, 6 out of 10. Then you go to 7 out of 10. The Bar Mitzvah, hopefully growing up. There's the mochin, there's a flow of life that Tiferet, that Am Yisrael needs in order to live. And we're not born with it. We're not born with tefillin. We're not born with chayim. We get tefillin when we're 13. We're born without tefillin. There's a growing up that Zeir Anpin needs to do the Torah mitzvot to allow the flow of Hey, of Yud to flow through it. It's an amazing, unbelievable. He's speaking about Rosh Hashanah, but really the 10 days of Tshuva. The Gemara says, the Gemara one place discusses the difference between Avodah and Tzibur and Avodah v'Rabim. When a person serves Hashem as an individual or serves Hashem as a collective, it's 2 worlds. The Avodah of a collective is not just 1 + 1 is not 2 in spirituality. 1 + 1 is infinite. Especially when there's 10 Jews sitting in a room, 10 Jews is a Shekhinah. What Shekhinah is? And so, these days, the days themselves are a unit of 10, and every individual is always looked at as a cloud also. That means that today, when you do this, it's not like a regular Zvaidus that you do alone. Today, when you're speaking, you're actually speaking in the name of the entire nation. Every prophet is a clown. These days are days that we're all clown. We're connected to the clown. Rosh Hashanah zooms us out so much of our individual little, private little needs, and to understand that we're grand, that there's a king, that there's a nation. Suddenly we realize we're not just little people. There's a whole plan dependent on us, built for us. Wow, how grand is creation. It's not always that a person could rise out of their privateness and suddenly speak as the Shliach Tzid. Imagine I tell you, go speak, we'll have the UN or one of these big places, represent the nation. Feel that, listen. Every year of us, that's how we are. We stand in front of Hashem, Shiveinu, Rafa'enu. We're not private beings. Our gullus is our feeling of privacy. That's every one of us feeling individual, that's our low I. Our great I is our national I. We say, Hashma le'oznecha, the Baal Tanya writes, davening, Bikr and davening, is Hashma le'oznecha, ma she'atem motzim mipicha. Your ears should hear what you say. What does that mean? That means that your ears of your lower identity should hear your higher identity. You should in the self and davening, rise up to not speak from that private place of I, but from that place of Am Yisrael, the great I. These days of Aseret Tshuva is days that the entire nation, every individual is times of ratzon. It's time that we could feel that. It's time that we could say, hey, we're not just a person. I feel my brothers and sisters, especially what's happening in the world. Look at how much Hashem is waking us up from what? Not feeling yourself. Don't feel your spirituality. Don't feel your ups or your downs. It's not about you. You connected to the nation. Remember that we're a part of a nation. It's something so much bigger. Yesterday was October 7th. It was unbelievable this whole year. Things were okay before. And was everything okay before? It's okay that millions and millions of our brothers and sisters don't know Shema Yisrael and our man. Who knows? There's a Holocaust, an ongoing Holocaust in the world. It's okay. We're so far. Our eyes have to be to Yerushalayim, not to Lebanon, not to Yerushalayim, Hashem, we want you. Our nation. Remember, we're something so much bigger. The Galut is forgetting that who we are. Political, you're Haredi, you're Chilani, you're this. What a shtuyot. What a sinas chinam. This shtuyot. We're one suffering nation looking for the way home. All of us. הוא הכרח גדול להתעוררות הלב בתשובה כזה. כי אין כל השופר פועל בבינה נקראת אוזן. Now listen to this. Each one of us is made as a body. You think you're just a body. You're a microcosm creation, a God. Everything that exists in the entire creation exists in every one of us, in every yid. When we open our ears, when we say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher nishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. I'm sanctifying my listening. I'm sanctifying my attention. I want to listen to the voice of the shofar. I want to hear the flow of life. I want to hear the goodness of you life. Hashem flowing through Ima. Yes, it's stopping by me. Oh, I hear it. I feel that it's stopping by me. I hear it. I don't want it to stop by me. I want it to flow through me. I want to be a part of the cure, not a part of the disease. Chas v'shalom. When a person listens, then the shofar. What we want is the world called Bina in the heavens of the heavens, the Olam HaAtzilut. We want the Bina, the mother, to awaken. When you get Tshuva, the mother is called Tshuva, the mother is called Bina. These are all names. We want the flow of life to flow into the consciousness of every Jew. We want every Jew to remember who he is and why he is and where he is and the essence of life. And we're such a wonderful, beautiful family. Things that go out of the heart. The tshuva is the call of the lip. It's the outcry of the heart. It's saying, how am I stopping the flow of life of the Creator into the world? Imagine what embarrassing. Rav Nachman writes that a person should make sure that I'm not the one that's stopping the din and Beit Medrash. Like I should make sure that it's not. It's so easy to look at it. Is there anything that I'm doing today that's stopping the building of our nation? That's stopping the building of our home? How am I blocking the Son of Hashem, the infinite good of Hashem, to flow into life? It's not from Him, it's from me. So this is the idea that the Rambam writes, that the shofar is not just a mitzvah, Yom Torah Yalachem, this is just a dry mitzvah like a chok. It's to wake up the sleeping one. That means that we're all sleeping and we're all awakening. Human being has in many, many, many dimensions. We have all the dimensions, all the worlds in our being. We're made with klaluta olamot. Our identity is so important to remember who we are, to learn Kabbalah. The study of Kabbalah is essential for a yid to know his identity. Who am I? Where am I? What's going on with me? Ki b'tzelem Elohim asa et ha'adam. Hashem made Adam b'tzelem Elohim. B'tzelem dmut klalut kol ha'olamot. Man is made as an everything. It's all the worlds. Ve'ozen keneged bina. The ozen, his ear. That means that our ear is connected the bina of the worlds. That means in the worlds is a grand, grand world called bina. And that world is the world from the flow of that world comes the world called Tiferet, which is called Ze'eranti. And since we're made out of all the worlds, when we decide to open up our attention, open up our ears, and to listen, this causes in heavens a great flow in the world called bina to start flowing into Ze'eranti. That wakes up from the sleep. Because what could sleep in us? It's our heart. Our minds don't sleep. We notice in ourselves we have all the dimensions in us. So we have nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. We have a nefesh, a behemit, involved in animal soul, low soul, involved in ego, involved in anger, involved in sadness, involved in laziness, involved in taivas. All of us have a nefesh, a behemit. From the four dimensions, from the four elements of this physical world, and they're corrupted in the same corruption as this world. And then we have a nefesh elokit, so that means that a nefesh elokit is chelek eloham imal amish. We have a spirit of the essence of life, always in our minds, always in our being, every minute. And these two realities are constantly cooking. This is our life. Good morning. This is the life of a yid. The struggle. When do we sleep? When does a person call sleep? When sleep means when you're low. It means you're in the animal. The same way sleep symbolizes a time that I'm not in my full functionability. Right? Napoleon didn't sleep. Right? But if you sleep, you're not Napoleon. When I sleep, I'm the minimal me. The main me is not there. So it means that a person could live a sleeping life. People could live total sleepy lives. Rav Nachman writes a story. How can a person sleep for 70 years? People sleep 70, 80 years. Very easy to sleep. Sleep means falling into the rhythms of nature. Ding, dong, right? You put on tefillin today, like you put on yesterday. Shabbos today, like Shabbos yesterday. Shlomo Carlebach says, what's galus? Shlomo Carlebach says, when I say that what was yesterday, that's what's going to be today. And what's going to be today, that's probably what's going to be tomorrow. That's galus. That's it. You're trapped, brother. Never. Geula is the flow of life is a constant. It's every second. So it's like, what's going to be next? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Only he himself. Only the only one. Allow myself to stay in the fresh and the newness. That's really true. It's so easy to fall asleep into the galut, and that's the sleep of nature. That's the danger of life. To live is to be sleepwalking and sleep living. That's how religion becomes so toxic. That's how religion becomes so dangerous. Because it has in it that fall asleep, become religious. You're okay. You're religious. You're okay. You don't have to think. You're religious. You're in the good group. You're fine. Just keep on doing. No.
That's right. It's a way of life.
It's a way. I don't know of life, but it's a way. It's an easy one. Most people take it easier. One of the presidents, one of the American presidents said 5% of the world think, 5% think that they think, and 90% do anything to not. That's America.
Yeah, but isn't there something to be said about habit, about the idea that you are going to wake up every morning and even if you're asleep and then you wake up when you're putting everything back in your bag and going about your day, you've internalized it and it is in you.
Fantastic. That's a fantastic nekuda. Habit, hergelim, extremely important. And as dangerous as they are, that's how important they are. As a matter of fact, our habits are the strongest part of our being. And that's actually what takes you, if you look back at, what you have today is your habits, like that what became habitual to you. The haglaim are really, really very important. That's why we daven to Hashem, shetargilenu b'toratecha. Our hergeli, everyone, we all have to be in habits. Everyone, every human being. The question is, where are your habits? When your habits are in the Torah, then they never fall asleep. Because if you look, the Jewish
breathing.
Like breathing, but you know what? Breathing is a habit that you could do out of habit, or you could do out of conscious. Conscious breathing is a gift.
Yeah.
A person that never had a conscious breath in his life, I'm not sure if they breathe. They were alive, but did you ever breathe?
No.
Did you ever say, did you ever just stop being a spoiled brat and just say, "Wow, whoa, thank you for the oxygen"? Like, did you ever notice the balance of how much balance is required just for me to just breathe and live? Our temperature, you ever thank God for your temperature? We exist in such a fine spectrum of temperature, a little bit high, a little bit low. Look at what a beautiful balance. We're like little flowers, we're so fragile. Right? You could live a life of sleeping, a life of not having gratitude. Akarat tov. Akarat tov, such a beautiful midah. Is the main midah. The entire world is created to midah, recognizing the source of it. And this is really what man is. Man is put into a nefesh habehemit. We're put into a low animal soul, into a sleepy soul. Why? That from there we should recognize, hey, there's a good God. There's an infinite God. There's an infinite source of life. We should become Avram and say, wait, I'm not going to be like everyone else, live a barbaric, selfish life. Because I'm strong, I'll be stronger than you. I don't want to live in a jungle. There's a creation here. I want to live in this creation. So when a person finds his hergeli, when a person says, wait, he's a creator of the world. Yes, you made us in a way of habit. The way of habit has in it the danger of falling asleep and ignoring the essence of life. Or habit is raglaim. Raglaim is walking. I could use my feet to walk. My feet are eventually, they may be a lower part of my consciousness, but they actually they get me places. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. That's my habits. My habits are my raglaim. They're my feet. And they're going to get me. So our hergelim should be awakened. Our feet shouldn't be sleeping. That means, yes, you have feet. Yes, you have habits, but your habits should be connected to your mind. I'm doing things out of consciousness. I'm doing things. Of course, I have to breathe. Of course, I have to eat. You know what kind of amazing kavanot are in food? You know that a person, while they eat, can mamish fix the entire world? Really? Obviously, saying the brachot and doing the tumot and forget about health and all this, but just having the kavanot that my teeth are separating the good from the bad. we are, and that maybe there's souls in this food, maybe there's gilgulim, and I'm saying the Beit Torah, or having a good thought to elevate them from being a vegetable to a human. Right? This food just went from being an animal to a human. There's a lot of mitzvot that we do. Look at food. Food is such a mundane, it can become the source of all sins, and actually is the source. It's a not food. You're right. So the habits are an akuda that we have to be awakened of, and that's actually in the time of Mashiach. Rav Tzadok Kohen writes that the main avoida, the main point of focus that we should pay attention to in our being is where are our habits, because the habits are this time it's called ikvata de Mashiach, the heel of Mashiach. Heel is the sign of the foot. And that means that we see today it's even easier than ever to fall into sleep. The minds are so scattered, and you just like give me a shady place to just relax. Like okay, people just want that. So it's very, very important to connect our habits with Hashem. Connect our guy.
I think the sirens are to wake us up. And before this, we assumed we could, with this Pesach, we had a big Anglo party in Beria. Now, hardly go to Beria just to get to Jerusalem. You're going to go, not even the siren, you're going to go from point A to B without anything. Right? We weren't appreciative of all those things. We appreciated like every step.
100%. You know how many times I come back from New York and I tell myself, wow, I love the silence of Tzfat. Like now I appreciate it.
That's just me.
Okay, not just New York, but anyway. Yeah, 100%. The Gemara says, the reason thunders were created, straighten out the crookedness that we have in our hearts. And Rav Nachman writes that if a person hears shofar and Rosh Hashanah, if a person has yirat shamayim, you won't be scared of thunder his entire year. Because you're right, it's all about straightening out the crookedness of your heart. And if you're proactive about straightening out your heart, you're not going to need no heart adjustments. Your heart's going to be just fine. God loves you and he's going to bless your heart. If your heart needs an adjustment, it needs a crookedness, he'll do it the sweetest way. But you know what I'm saying? He'll give you a thunder here, a siren here. But it's about straightening out the heart. I don't remember the exact quote. I'll try to remember. I'll let you know. Okay, so okay. Kafi, I don't know where we're holding with time. Judy, so give me a 5 minute. According to Chaz v'Shalom, we're in this world and Hashem tells us to do positive commandments. And a person says, okay, you did them, you don't do them. We don't really realize, like, is it important is it for me? We're doing them just as far as for me, for who? In this light, in the light of Kabbalah, we're going out of our selfishness, not just doing it for me, for my brownie points, but understanding that man is in the world as a partner of the creator of the world, with a tremendous invitation and zchut to join the story of creation and to allow the flow of the Oren Sof to flow through what potential obstacles would be through his choices to eliminate them and assure that the infinite light can flow through him. And that's it becomes a place for the Shekhinah. So when a person doesn't do mitzvot aseh, ביטול מצוות עשה שאדם מבטל, כך מחליש כוח איברי נפש, רוח, נשמה, חיה יחידה שלו. So now we're going to talk about our spiritual structure. It's called nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya yechida. I'm sure you're ready for it. I've heard that so many times. The nefesh, even though in general we discuss the name of man as neshama or ruach, spirit versus the body, but when you actually look deeper, it's actually made out of 5 parts. The nefesh is the spirit of a person that rests in the liver. So we started talking about it's the nefesh of the amit. It's called the vital soul, the animal soul, the basic soul, many, many names for it. And that's made from the 4 elements, eshman, ruach, water, right, from the 4 elements of this world. And then there's the ruach, then there's another level. Now, once a person refines that nefesh, in our world, it's, for example, when he gets his brit milah, that's the first mitzvah. Before a man gets his brit milah, his physical shape is with an orla, cannot receive there's no way the Shekhinah can rest on an orla. Only after one level is complete, then the next level could rest in it. Mamish like a glove, like spirit, the same way the human spirit won't go into a horse, or the horse spirit won't go into a dog. Every spirit has a body that it fits into to like operate through it. So the same way, the nefesh kedusha can't be in a goy. A person has an olah, a person has a foreskin. There's no way the nefesh can deal with it. Only after brit milah, then the nefesh. That's how we give the baby the name by the brit. That's when the nefesh settles, so to speak, in his being. Then 13 years of avodat Hashem till the ruach, the mitzvah. That's when the ruach of a person, the ruach is in the heart. That's a higher. Obviously, it's existing in the person all the time. There's development of it, and that happens in these 13 years. When it finally happens, that's when the person gets his tefillin. The tefillin means that you're now connected to the higher. You're not a katan. You're not before your bar mitzvah, you're a katan. You can't join 10. You're not a part of the collective. You're not part of the group that's bringing this. You're not. You're potential. You're not there yet. Once you become Yud Gimel, you're a gadol. Once you're a gadol, it means that you put on tefillin. Now you're involved in a much bigger consciousness. You're a part of the team. You're not just, you're a gadol. Welcome. Like, you're a 10. So then the neshama comes to a person at the age of 20 or when they get married. But really, neshama is all these levels are ongoing levels. The neshama is in the moach. So we have nefesh in the kaved, ruach balev, neshama shebemoyach. Neshama is in the moyach. Obviously, the neshama is directly linked to the study of the Torah, and that's why our entire nation, everyone, men, women, all have the chiyuv to learn Torah. Even though women don't have chiyuv like men, but sure, the mitzvahs that have to do with women, those that do with the Muna, as this holy, beautiful Bas Medrash. You guys are amazing. Hashem should bless each one of you with the deepest Torah. Everything you ever wanted to learn, you should know and be able to teach, inspire, and be the best mothers, and best wives, and best daughters, and best granddaughters, and best grandmothers, best yidden. Be devout. Diamonds of inspiration. Baal Shem Tov, as a matter of fact, one of the main inyan that he did was to strengthen the learning of Torah by the women. Because it's clear that the level of the home has nothing to do with the man, only with the woman. Clear. Obviously, it could be extreme cases, but the level of the woman is mamash.
So is a woman considered the 10? Like because she doesn't have to be in a meeting? She doesn't take the
Shasani Kirtzani, she's in the Ratzon. She's not in the Ratzon. She's connected to the Ratzon. The Ratzon is a whole nother. The Ratzon is the Keter. It's also the Keter and it's also the Malchut. The Keter and the Malchut is really the same. Every world has a Keter in its entrance and a Malchut in its exit. Really the same thing. The Keter is how it receives its infinite, and the Malchut is how it flows through it to the next. Because it's all flowing to us. Right? Once you were a baby, soon you're a grandmother. It's all, you're a flower, then you're a branch. Before you know it, you're a root. It's all moving. Okay. So we said we had nefesh, ruach, neshama. Neshama comes to us. The little Torah. The more a person learns Torah, what the Torah does to us, the chokhmah lenafshecha, the keter lemoshech. Torah gives us a keter. When Am Yisrael in Har Sinai said Nasev and Nishma, we know that the every malach, every yid get 2 crowns. What's these 2 crowns? Your kids come back from Ghana with 2 crowns. Remember? What's these 2 crowns that the Torah gives? What's this keter that the Torah gives? It's still today, the truth. Then after the Chet Egel, it says that Moshe took all the crowns from everyone. And on Shabbos, our Rebbe writes, he gives everyone back something. Smach Moshe on Shabbos, he gives everyone back. It means there's a crown that a person learns Torah. They have, like wisdom. What's wisdom? Where is your wisdom? In your brain? In your mind? Where? It's your consciousness. Your consciousness, your awareness, your wisdom is like a crown to you. The same way a crown is a surrounding level sitting on the king's head that gives him that power, that authority, that importance, that whatever it is. You go to a chacham, you go to a big tzaddik. Why are you honoring him? Why are you listening to him? Why is he precious? Why? Because he's wearing a crown. Where is his crown? His crown is his wisdom. It's his Torah. Torah really gives the person the crown that every Jew really needs. So the madrega of neshama is acquired through learning Torah, and this is why we are constantly nursing from this madrega every day, every minute, being connected to these high levels. And this is in the moach, so this has to do with the study. Now, obviously, each one sits inside the other It's all one being, just like inside of us, our heart and our mind, our emotions, it's all one. When we come to explain it outside, we compartmentalize it or sign, like quantify it, but Lamaisa, it's all one. And we could feel it inside ourselves. The main rule in all these high Kabbalistic studies is always to take it home, always to bring it into your, not just your body, your relationships, everything to do with your life. That's how Hashem that's what Hashem told Avram Avinu. I see you're trying to figure out the world. Okay, here's Sefer Yetzirah. Figure yourself out. It's all on you. The big and the small, it's all the same. Figure this. I see that this is Sefer Yetzirah. Okay, so the neshama goes in the malach. Chaya is a higher level. That's called a makom. That's called a surrounding level. The surrounding of a person is their clothing. The clothing of a person contains the fourth level of their neshama. That's why we have many halachas and many inyanim of clothing. Men not wearing women's clothing, right? Today in the world, right? Outrageous. They're trying to erase the name of Hashem. Is the essence of male, female. It's the war against Hashem himself. You see how much of it starts with the clothing. We see the clothing of the Kohen Gadol and sneers, million. Anything that has to do with clothing has to do with that level of chaya, that higher level of surah. Okay, once you have the Shema, then the Yechida, the fifth level, the highest level, that is this level that resides in a person's home, right? Everyone's home has their feeling, their style, their energy, or whatever you call it. Or if you're walking in the street, it goes into your Arba Amas. Arba Amas is your halachic zone. So that's your Al-Bamot, and those are 5 levels of Neshama. This is actually when a human is to listen to the Creator absolutely, then as he develops, gets his own nefesh finally could rest in him, and then you feel like there's something higher, and it's like, oh, it's like you feel any spiritual level that's not in you yet is a makom. It's surrounding you. It's like hovering you, so it's like slowly goes in. As you're ready, it goes in. Like imagine like. So you could feel it, you could dream about it, you could remember it, you could have pain from it. Many oftentimes you'll have pain from levels that you think you should have, that you want to have, that you're feeling of having. And these levels, and as you go slowly, these surrounding levels slowly, as you perfect yourself, become inner. From the makif, it becomes pnim. So as we correct our vessels, the light is allowed to spread in based on how perfect the vessels are. Because the infinite light can only rest in absolute perfection. That's the plot. That's about Tanya writes many times. En sof shore ela makom shalem, ela makom, and makom shalem is b'davar batel ela b'far. When something has absolute bittul, when something knows I am your creation, creator. I know there's an absolute higher level that's meant to rest in me, and the only thing that can block it is me. Is me not being aware of it and not being in tune of it and focusing on something private or small or other. And as much as excitement and bittul and dissipation that I have to that level, that's how much a level actually permeate me and like reside in me and flow through me. So this is the full development of Neshama. Moshe Rabbeinu, for example, a person that reaches his full Madrega and Kabbalah, it's called that he reaches Yechida Shebanefesh. When a person reaches Yechida Shebanefesh, they walk into a room, they don't have to say anything, nothing. Anyone that had the supposed to be by the Rebbe, by Yechidus, by Lubavitch, they went to Yechidus by the Rebbe. What is Yechidus? Yechidus in Chabad means that the level of Yechida of your nefesh, you're going to someone that can actually affect it and connect it on that level. It's extremely individual and high. So our full level is nefesh ruach neshama chai Yechida. Where do we start the journey? At the lowest. We started at the nothing, at the zero consciousness. We're not even a potato. Look at a person, when a baby is born, a cat is better than us. A snail is better than us. You put a monkey in the zoo, after 2-3 days, he's climbing the trees. Take a human being, how long does it take to develop a baby? 20, 30, 50 years sometimes. It never ends. A human being needs so much. You need an entire village for every child. That's how it is.
The most selfish thing there is.
But that's how Hashem made us. We must be so interconnected. We must be. The halach is you can't live in a city that doesn't have 130 people. Why? To have a Rav and a Dayan and a Shaykh and you have to have all these things. For one guy to live in a city, no, you have to make the whole thing. We start off absolutely at our most raw and least developed part of our being. תשב אנוש עד דקה. ותאמר שובו בני אדם. Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest searcher of man, the greatest lover. If anyone here in this room has one friend, it's Moshe Rabbeinu. He wrote everyone here letters. We have no idea the love of man that this tzaddik had. And how much encouragement he writes, and how much depth he writes, that saves lives, that saves man, creates life. Tashev enosh adaka, he writes in Tehillim. Tehillim was written by 10 tzaddikim. Adam HaRishon, Avraham Avinu, sons of Korach. David HaMelech compiled the Rechov HaPalmach, the entire Moshe Rabbeinu. And he compiled all the songs that every Jew needs to know forever and ever. David HaMelech is our king. David HaMelech Yisrael Chai V'Kayam. David HaMelech has every cry, every word, every excitement, every emotion that every Jew will ever have to have is in Tehillim. He compiled from 10 tzaddikim means totality. 10 is 10, it's total. And Moshe Rabbeinu writes there in Tehillim, Tashev enosh ad daka, creator of the world, you took man, Tashev enosh ad daka, ad dichducha shel nefesh. You took man and you made him a nothing. Vatomer shuvu bnei adam. Go become a person yourself. It means Hashem made us not Adam. We were all shaden once upon a time. Our nefesh of behemit is a shed. We all have a ghost living inside of us. Our animal soul, if it's an untamed animal soul, is a ghost. It's a shed. It's a mazikim. There's all kinds of mazikim. The family of shadim is a very wide family. It's a humans. There's tzaddikim shadim, there's rishonim shadim, they have kids and families. Probably have elections, they have politics, everything. Probably have WhatsApp, everything.
They both come on,
Well, they both come out. Both sides of politics. Politics to me is a shady business. I don't give a fuck. It's all personal ego. Anything that went wrong in this world is politics. Politics is everything that's ugly is one word, politics. Where were we before that? Yeah. Oh, the Sheva Nosha. So the design of man is to say the gift of life, as the Creator says. We're all together. Where were we before we were? Right? Great question. In essence, where we were in the essence of life itself. Rav Nachman says a story. There was once a king that had 6 sons and 1 daughter. He loved that daughter so much. One day they're standing in the room. They get into some talk. The king gets upset at her. He tells her, let the not good take the room. She goes to her room. In the morning, no one finds her. This became the basis of this. Oh.
Why did he say something like that?
What?
Why did he say something?
It's a fantastic question. I was wondering about what was the conference. I was trying to go back, but Nachman doesn't say what happened. He just says what the king tells her. So what was that? Let's look back. If that was his answer, what did she tell him? You tell me. You're the princess. If your father loves you like the most, all your brothers love, but you the most. And one day you're having a great talk, and the result is that your father tells you, "I love you." What did you tell him? You think? What do you guys think? Let's think together. The father of the king tells the princess, the not good, the lotov, should take you.
That's so.
So the question is, why did
she goes to her room, and in the morning, no one finds her. The second in command goes to look for her. Long story. He finds her. He finds her in a beautiful palace. He goes in. They're having a conversation. He tells her, "What is this place?" She tells him, "This place is called the Lotov." I'm in the Lotov. And then he does a whole story. Yes, the mystery has to keep her out. Deep. Everyone should read it. Don't trust me about any of the story. Read it yourself, please.
I read it.
Please read it again.
The lost princess.
The lost princess. First.
You must tell them that.
Oh, wait, that's good. Okay. One second. Maybe she was saying that the local is told. Okay, I want to hear more thoughts. Let's discuss this.
Maybe because she was so much more precious to be that dress that anything that she would do that more perfect father.
You're saying they were so close, they were so sensitive, and that really upset the father, and the father got really turned. Okay. So that's like more like a punishment. It's which is a part of it.
Yeah, or just a momentary reaction, and then he was obviously regretful of the action.
Right.
For the moment, because it was
Because of the
so
closeness, there was so much
painful.
100%. Right. That's a very important.
I think she's a teenager. She's distinguishing herself, and she's brought up on this path where she gets to she wants to have other influences, see the world, see what else is good. Maybe the Lotov in her mind, she has a question mark that maybe it is good. She wants to explore it. She's rebellious.
Okay, so she's right. She's grew up in the castle. She doesn't know anything else. She doesn't appreciate the good. She doesn't know there's anything else. And maybe the keep is telling her, maybe go explore. It's scary a little bit.
I was gonna say it's very similar. Maybe he's saying that that's what, like, her discovering herself in lower ways, that he's giving her the, like, if you go this way, it's low tov. Like, you're gonna experience low tov. Like, if this happened, the low tov is gonna take over.
Right. So you're right. Maybe he was telling her like this, that you're thinking in the wrong direction. At the end of your line will be the low.
Right, like he's warning her, like, meaning this is not he's blessing her with this. He's saying that this is a consequence.
Right. So it's clear. When he said blessing, it's clear that he's a blessing because he's the father, and it's a good story.
But ultimately, also, she's gonna now appreciate. Oh,
Beautiful. Okay, so now we're touching in this midah called hakarat. So we look right now. Yes.
I think she should have said maybe, but I just wanted to make sure.
What she should have said, great. She should have said on the side, no, I want to stay with you. Okay, but she didn't say that. You know why? That's all. She didn't say that. You know why? Because she didn't recognize that he's the good. Because you know why? Good is not good unless it's bad. This was a Sefer Yetzirah, Ram of Chinat. There's no light if there's no darkness. There's no life. There's only life because there is that.
That's how you draw.
So therefore, obviously these things exist, but there's a certain this we're talking about this neshama. This is the neshama Yisrael, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu is the Father. And there's a certain place of being in called the Zohar, Nahamad Kisufa, bread of shame. Is the concept that we learn. Bread of shame, having an unappreciated teenager, right? How painful. Time to do Tshuva for how we were. Me for sure. But this having teenagers is a time to. When I find myself visiting the stations of my kids and remember where was I, and I try to do Tshuva, as my kids remind me. I can't wait for the grandkids. So there's a certain spoiledness or certain inability, really, that's not even of gratitude or hakarat. The word hakarat in Hebrew is not just gratitude. Lehakir means recognition of the good, recognizing the source of good, recognizing that there is a good. How would I recognize a good? Only from the Lotov. That's why the Lotov is actually interesting, but when Hashem says, Vayar Elohim kol asher asa v'yidei tov me'od, at the end of creation, when Hashem sees everything and says it's tov me'od, the Midrash teaches us tov ze malach ha'chaim, me'od ze malach ha'mavet. Because how do you get to be me'od? Me'od is mem aleph dalet, it's Adam. How do you get? Why would you be like, okay, you're in the palace, and that's the flow of life, and you're a part of the things, and you are who you are, you're the level that you are, and why would you ever be more than yourself? In other words, you can never experience pleasure. The pleasure you only get from being something more than yourself. If you have what you have, it's existence. Pleasure is always from a gain, a new, where God lives in the pleasure. Now, his daughter doesn't, because she's his daughter. We don't want spoiled teenagers. He doesn't want them. No one wants them. I mean, I love them. Right?
what about the other way?
And there's the lack from the daughter. Obviously, the lack of the daughter. The daughter cannot appreciate, meaning this daughter eventually is going to be a mother. As a mother, you know you deserve appreciation. You didn't know it. when your mother was a mother, I'm one of 9. My wife is one of 11 kids. So you go, in the Haredi world, how many kids have there? 10, 11. Oh, wow. We have neighbors that have 18 kids. Like, wow, that's massive. Each kid is like, whoa. Like, my mother is amazing. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is. You grow up. Hakarat Tov. So this is Midah of Hakarat Tov. As a matter of fact, these 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are mainly celebrating this Midah of Hakarat Tov. One of the characters in Tanakh that we find that was horrible in Hakarat Tov, his name was Naval HaKarmeli. I was learning women in Tanakh here. The husband of Abigail, who eventually ended up being the wife of David HaMelech. David HaMelech was going to kill him during this time because of his lack of gratitude. Hakarat Tov is a very, very deep midah. And in a certain creation, the beautiful soul, the soul of mankind, we are right now in the Lo Tov. I mean, it's good. It's obviously all by him, but we can, us having a nefesh, us being in a goof, us being in a physical low reality where we could feel separate from the Israel, separate from our greater I. We could feel vulnerable. We could feel lost. We could feel that we're nothing. We could feel dark. We could feel all kinds of Lo Tov. We could be in the Lo Tov. So now we could recognize the Tov. You could only get to the Tov from the Lo Tov. Right? If something can't be chametz, it can't be matzah. That's always the rule. So only from that place. So we're going to the place of no gratitude, of dark, just to reach this midah hakarat. So that's, I don't know who started over here, but that was a very good.
That's great, because that kind of answers the question of like, why is it that I've been asking for 30 years, is why is there evil in the first place? Why do this? All of that. And this kind of that.
So that, right, your answer is that in the root level, there is no evil. Just like right now, let's take it to mother-kid, right? We're talking about correction as if you're a parent and you have a child that does something dangerous, and right, that you have to give them some consequence. We're not talking, right? You have to, you don't want to. So if I right now look at the consequence at an external level, it looks like something harsh, something painful. If I right now look into your being, into your essence, stemming from the deepest place of love, that you're from this place of responsibility, of wanting this kid to really reach his highest potential, it's the deepest love. So that it's essential for the souls to reach their purpose, to recognize that there is a good. And in order to recognize the good, it can only come from the sitra achra. It's called sitra achra. It's called the other side. The other side doesn't really exist. There really is no pain. The Ishbitzer writes that when Mashiach comes, every Jew is gonna see that there was never ever no pain. We're gonna see that there was never ever pain. When we see the picture, כשאנחנו נראה את זה, כשאנחנו נראה את התהליך, אז ימלא שחוקים. Laughter, that's why laughter is a funny reaction for Geula. How does Geula cause laughter? Comes from jokes. Joke is here's a story going, this guy's going this way, and suddenly, boom, the punchline goes in the other way, and you crack up because it's so unexpected. As a matter of fact, it makes the whole beginning of the joke reverse, and you realize that the whole joke was wrong, and there was never really a person. The whole thing is a metaphor, and you just go, the whole you're cracking up. So that's the Geula. The Geula is going to give us a laughter reaction, because it's going to really say that our Father loves us. It's all a story of love. And yes, we're in pain, and yes, we have to be out of the palace, and yes, we have to be out of the unity, out of Olam HaAtzilut. Olam HaAtzilut is such a Olam she'anahu etzlo, she'adam etzlo yitbarach. The person feels I'm by him. Nachman writes, she'adam yodea she'kol mo'otav zot ha'bchina im en olam haba. When a person has the awareness and the memory that everything that's happening is for his good, he is in a state of olam haba. He's in a state of all good. That's the real state, because that's the truth. That's the real state of being, that it's all good. We're in the Lo Tov to get hakarat tov, to get the recognition of it. Okay. So 5 minutes, we'll wrap it up over here.
It's very interesting. I think our lessons and said that the only way to really see the light is that you have to make the dark.
100%.
So like that's important.
Yeah, if you're gonna make a beautiful, I don't know, yellow color, red, so you want to put a nice green background, you want to do something. Of course, the background is you can do art, and you do the background after the foreground. The whole foreground is shining because of the background. There's only two. You only have two. What gives it the 3D? It's all illusions of light. Everything is based on the other.
And it's
You know, I want to tell you something. If you never had a bad day in your life, you wouldn't appreciate a thing. A thing. Nothing. You're gonna have such a good Olam Haba because we were in Olam Hazeh. We're gonna know the meaning of distance. We're gonna know how we don't want to ever be disconnected from our source of life. Oh, we're gonna know it. We're gonna appreciate life so much. We're gonna never ever disconnect ever, because we remember how painful it was. That moment of pain that we had in Olam Hazeh is going to forever and ever be a point of reference and appreciation for the infinite good that's going to come forever. You're always going to refer back to that. You remember when we were, the week we got married and we were sleeping in some room and the roof fell in. How horrible. Every house you have now is going to be better than that roof. That roof is the source of every home that you have. Becoming, wow, it's better than that. And it's much, wow, I don't even feel the rain and there's no wind. It's great. Another guy goes, look, it's just an apartment. For you, it's like, apartment? It's not a broken roof. That helps you. We all have these little, that's Olam Hazeh. All Olam Hazeh is just to give us that click to appreciate all and stuff. Yiratzon, b'fnei Avinu shebashamayim, the days of Ratzon, finish this shiur with a tefillah. But kadosh Baruch Hu, we're in the city of Tzfat. You chose as the shofar of the world. You chose the city of Tzfat, send Ali here and Rabbi Shimon, all the Mekubalim, to bring the light of Mashiach and the light of Geulah into the world through this holy city. The people that learn Torah in this holy city want deep Torah, want Torah of redemption, they want Torah of healing, they want Torah of good to the world. Yiratzon that in these 10 days of Tshuva, Am Yisrael, Hashem should give all of us the deepest Torah, the most healing Torah, Torah that will give us total forgiveness to each other, total love to each other. We should rise to such a level of national recognition, of national identity, of feeling Am Yisrael so much in our essence that nothing private should ever stop anything between us. We should forgive each other, everything, no matter what. We should have the zchut, uba'u kulam b'brit yachad, to come together. Na'aseh v'nishma mukeichat asar, Hashem na'aseh v'nishma. We're ready to hear your voice. We love you, miss you. We should have the zchut to see the sweet Geulah together in Yerushalayim.
Amen. Beautiful.
So that's in the house.